But what if you don't use 3ds Max? If, for example, you use SketchUp, Blender, have it, or if you have a hard time when you are transforming these files in FBX to bring them to Unreal Engine. In this class here, from here below, I'm going to show you how to do it by using a tool called DataSmith. That is a tool for free as well here inside Unreal Engine that brings these files from outside to inside the software. What if in your software you don't have this FBX? We can take the files to Unreal by using DataSmith. That is a software for free that is gonna make the communication between, for example, SketchUp or Have It and Unreal Engine. I'm gonna show you here in the next classes how to use DataSmith for 3ds Max. In case you don't want to export in FBX, you export by DataSmith by using 3D Studio Max, and also doing this process using SketchUp. If you don't use 3D Studio Max, that's how you're going to take these files to Unreal by using DataSmith. Okay, just to remember, DataSmith is a software for free, a plugin for free inside Unreal Engine that makes this conversation between 3D Studio Max, for example, SketchUp, for example, Blender, Have It. You do this conversation between this software and Unreal Engine. But look at this, it's very important. The next class now is gonna be teaching you how to take this file via DataSmith. Okay, if you don't want to take via FBX, you can send via DataSmith. So the next class is going to be teaching you how to send the project to Unreal Engine using DataSmith. We're going to get started with the 3D Studio Max class. After this one is going to be using DataSmith to SketchUp. But watch both classes. Okay, watch this first one here that is sending via 3D Studio Max, and watch the other one as well. If you use SketchUp, it's gonna have this class here after the 3D Studio Max class. If you use Have It, watch as well this one on 3D Studio Max and SketchUp, because the process of sending the files from Have It to Unreal Engine is very similar to the process of SketchUp. The website to download SketchUp is the same. The process of organizing the files inside Unreal via DataSmith is the same for both softwares, SketchUp and Have It. Basically the same process. So if you watch the 3D Studio Max class and watch the SketchUp class, easily you can adapt this to Have It. Okay? Watch these two classes that you will understand, and you're gonna see that it's very nice. See you. Nice. So to install the DataSmith, it's very simple. Basically, you need the DataSmith installed in your modeling software, okay? And also on Unreal, that already comes by default, okay? So let's do something here. Let's close the 3ds Max so that we can install the DataSmith. That is a software that we're going to use to send the files to Unreal. And let's download the DataSmith for 3D Studio Max. To do that, let's type here on Google DataSmith Exporter plugin, okay? Or DataSmith plugin. Look at this. It's there on the website of Unreal Engine, okay? Let's click on that, and it brings us here. Let's talk a little bit about this tool, about this plugin that makes this talking that we need, for example, 3ds Max and Unreal. But you can use DataSmith for SketchUp, Blender, Maya, have it. Okay, let's take a look here. We see the problems that we can have support. Okay, for DataSmith, look at this, all these options. You see this? Nice. In our case, we want 3ds Max. Okay, DataSmith for 3ds Max. If you use SketchUp, you're going to download this. But don't worry about it, because in the next video, in the next class, I'm going to show you how to do it for SketchUp. Okay, but this class we're going to do for 3ds Max. You're going to choose the real version that you want to download. Okay, the plugin. Okay, but remember that you're not downloading the plugin for Unreal. You're downloading the plugin for 3ds Max. But for which version of Unreal? If you want to use Unreal Engine 5, but in case you want the previous versions, you click here. For example, 4.27, 4.26. In our case, we want the 5.0. Okay, so let's select this, Unreal Engine 5, and download. It's very light, it's gonna be fast to download. And also for SketchUp, Windows or Mac, let's see, for the version 5.03, that is the current version at this moment that we are recording the video. But maybe in the moment that you're watching this video, it can be other version. But you click here, you see it identifies the Autodesk 3ds Max 2018, but it also accepts the other versions. In my case, 2018, but you can choose the version that you use. Install, it's very fast and simple. Nice. It has finished and it has installed in our files, okay, of 3ds Max. I can close it here, and then I can open 3ds Max with our project. Great. After we open 3ds Max, let's see here, piano house in our case, and let's send this to Unreal Engine. Okay, let me see if it's without the floor. No, it's not hidden. Basically, the DataSmith is gonna do the same thing of FBX. When we export in FBX, we do it in a manual way, you know, for example, this, and then we export separated by objects. You remember that? We export, we import, we export, we import. And then we can do it more organized, okay? Maybe. When you export by using DataSmith, you can also export by parts. But in this case here, we're gonna export the whole project, and then it's okay, inside there, we can separate or do something else. So let's do something here. Let's select all the project, and let's send the whole project there. An important thing here, in the process of FBX that we did here, we changed the materials, right? We transformed the materials in standard, for example, right? When we use the DataSmith, you can even keep the materials, for example, as Corona, but I don't think it's cool, okay? Because Unreal Engine is gonna try to find parameters. We're gonna learn about it, okay? Nodes inside Unreal Engine, so that we can try to get as close as possible of your material, okay? But that's not really cool, because we will not use the materials that we created on Corona or V-Ray. We won't use the materials of Max here. I'm gonna teach you to make the materials from the beginning. also the materials of Quixel. So it's better if you transform the materials in standard. But if you cannot do that, there's no problem because they're on Unreal. We will delete them and then we can create the materials again. So, for example, in your software, if it is SketchUp and you don't have the option to transform the materials in standard, don't worry about it because on Unreal, we will do that, okay? By deleting the materials, okay? And then creating them again. So at this moment, our materials are in standard already, okay? So to export, it's very simple. I select my whole scene, file, export, export selected. I prefer to export like this. So this way, I will not export any element that is lost here in the scene, okay? This time, instead of FBX, Unreal DataSmith, right? Let's choose a place to save it. Here in the desktop. Let's see. I have to create a folder here. DataSmith. Let's call it test 01 and save it. All right. We're gonna include the selection. Selection, yeah. And let's put, yeah, current frame only, and okay. It is very fast. It is already transforming these assets so that they're going to be compatible with Unreal. Nice. So here we have some errors, but don't worry about it. It is saying about the UV channel, about materials, textures, saying that they're not compatible, you know, about the channel 1. But don't worry about it. We can close it here because everything here is going to be corrected on Unreal. Okay. So let's open here Epic Games Launcher. Let's go here and let's click on here so that we can import these files. Okay, nice. Let's create a blank project. Let's save here, desktop, DataSmith. Let's name it UE5 so that we will know that the files are here. For now, we don't want ray tracing, okay? Let's call DataSmith test. Oops. DataSmith test with no space, okay? And create. Nice. Here inside Unreal Engine, if you're using the ARchviz template, the DataSmith is going to be enabled already. The plugin inside Unreal Engine is going to be enabled. If it is not, you can try to go here, edit, plugins, then you type DataSmith. Let's see, importer. And then you see if it's enabled, okay? And then you restart your Unreal. After doing that, we're gonna import the files, okay, of DataSmith. Here, add DataSmith, file import. DataSmith, here, this file here, okay? DataSmith, open. It's gonna ask the place, okay, where we're gonna save. We can create a new folder, DataSmith. Everything is gonna be inside here. Nice. Let's see. The things that we want to bring, like geometry, materials, and everything. So if you kept lights in that project on Studio Max, then you're gonna also leave it like this here. The animations, I don't think it's cool. Also cameras, I think it's better to create cameras here, okay? If you want, you can bring, okay? And lights, I'm gonna create here. Okay, we're gonna create together here inside Unreal. So I'm gonna leave it like this. If you check this option, you're gonna bring the lights, but not the lights of 3ds Max. It's gonna transform the lights of Max in lights of Unreal. So I suggest that you leave it like this, okay? Because if you check this option, it's gonna bring the lights of Max and it's gonna transform in lights of Unreal. So here, let's see. We have some other options of static mesh, okay, of resolution. We will not talk about this during this course. Maybe in the future we can make a module of this, but here basically it's about generating UVs, okay, generating maps. Open the mesh of some models to generate UVs so that you can calculate the lights that we call building. It's gonna process the lights and it's gonna store inside this channel here. But we don't need this now. Maybe in the future, if we need, we're gonna make a class, okay, about it. So we don't want this option, all right? It's interesting that you don't forget about it, okay? If you forget, it's okay, but it's gonna take a longer time to import the files. Let's import. Nice. It already brought the file here. It's preparing the static meshes. It's preparing the textures. Let's wait a little bit. Let's see here our scene. Look at this. Let's wait a little bit. It's processing. Nice. It is done. It has already processed. Look at this. It already brought the geometries. Let's do something here. Don't worry about it now, okay? Because we're gonna see this after in the future. I'm gonna put here so that we can, let me see. I'm gonna do this, don't worry about it, because we're gonna see this in the future, okay? We will see this together, okay, about it, so don't worry about it. I brought it here, just a little more exposure so that we can see our files in the scene. Let me take here, everything that is inside here. I'm gonna put it here. Look at this. So we brought our file here. The whole house is already in the scene, okay? As in FBX, we can select the elements and then we can find them inside the assets. But as DataSmith brings all the geometries at once, so it doesn't bring in an organized way like we did with the FBX. So it brings everything at once. So you will have to select and direct to the folders that you think it's better, okay? It already brings the furniture, masonry. It brings everything that has in the scene, everything that we selected. The geometries, it brings to the geometries, the materials to the materials, and textures to the folders of textures. Let's save it to make sure we're not gonna lose them, okay? Look at this. DataSmith, this level. Don't worry about it, okay? About level, we didn't talk about it. Don't worry about it, okay? We're gonna talk about this after, in the future. I'm just showing you here how you can import, okay? Besides FBX, you can import by using DataSmith. Cool, it has saved already. Let me see here. An interesting thing about DataSmith, look at this. Unlike FBX, here we don't import the objects individually, okay? We import a whole file, okay? So let's suppose you made a change in your project. Let's suppose this wall here, there's a change and you needed to duplicate this. You're going to select this file, export selected, okay? Save it. Look at this. It's overwriting the file. Nice. Let's wait a little bit. It's finishing. Okay. And now let's re-import. Right button, re-import. Okay. Look at this. When we clicked on the re-import, it brought us some other options. Look at this. This DataSmith scene actors, respawn deleted actors as well. Okay, let me cancel this and I'm gonna show it to you. Look, I'm going to delete this. Oops, actually no, I'm going to delete that part, the ceiling of my scene. Okay, look at this. All right, we did it. But let's say that you didn't want to do that, like you didn't want to delete that. So we go here, right button, re-import. We have the options here like respawn, okay, the deleted files, you want to bring them back that we deleted, okay. If I check this, it's gonna bring the ceiling again. Okay, look at this. It has already brought, because we already have a lot of geometries inside here. Look at this. It brought the ceiling, but in the wrong height. Okay, but it brought the ceiling. Besides the ceiling, it brought this element here that we changed there. For example, here on 3ds Max, there is also a change here of another room that became the living room, a new living room, and the furniture was duplicated, and out there's a table to have dinner. So we do this process: select, export selected. We can overwrite if you want, but if you don't want to do this, you can save the file again. It's saving. All right, it's saved. Arranging content, DataSmith, report. Do we want to respawn deleted actors? If yes, you check. If not, you don't check this option. Report. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it has already reported. And now we have the couch. Look at this. Yeah, that's great. Okay. This way, we use the DataSmith, okay, to bring the files from 3ds Max, for example, here inside Unreal. Okay. Then you ask me, like, Dennis, do you prefer DataSmith or FBX? Well, I think it's better to use FBX because you keep the things more controlled. Okay, you can keep them more organized. You can export the ceiling, the furnitures, masonry, okay, and then you can make the scene. If you use DataSmith, you can bring everything, the whole thing at once, but everything is at one place, and after you will have to find out where everything is, the masonry, the ceiling, the floor, and everything. So it's gonna be harder, it's gonna be more confused, okay, to be organized. So I think it's cool, it's better FBX, but you can use DataSmith, okay. So it's up to you to choose between these two, okay. So I'm gonna stop this class here, and after we use FBX or DataSmith, we're gonna keep going our class, okay? In the next class, it's gonna be a DataSmith class for SketchUp, okay? So that you can learn how to bring these files uh, from SketchUp to Unreal by using DataSmith, okay? If you don't have the option of DataSmith export selection, okay? So in the next class, we're gonna get started talking about materials, how to distribute the objects, but don't worry about it now, okay? About the process or exposure. We're gonna talk about it, okay? In the future. Bye. I'll see you in the next class. See you. Hello guys, how are you? So welcome to another class of Unreal Engine, and today's class we're gonna learn about DataSmith. So we have SketchUp and we want to migrate to Unreal Engine. We need a software called DataSmith. So first thing, uh, we type DataSmith Unreal. Okay, click here and let's wait a little bit. Here we can see the functions, okay? So it converts all these files here in Unreal Engine. It can talk to the files, okay? Including SketchUp. We have this option, get the plugin. Let's see. Um, and look at this second option here, SketchUp Pro Exporter. An important thing, guys, Unreal Engine 5, you have to choose here between these two options. Besides SketchUp that talks to Unreal Engine 5 is the 2019, 2020, and 2022. Okay, so between these versions here. Um, okay, you can verify if you have these versions, okay, because they're gonna be necessary. In my case, I have the 2021, okay, so I'm gonna download this, okay. It's pretty simple. In my case, it has already recognized because the software is already installed. In your case, you're gonna click on next, okay, because it's gonna recognize the SketchUp inside your computer, okay. It's pretty simple, okay, the installation. All right, close this. Let's open the SketchUp, okay. Let's open the Epic Games as well. Perfect. Inside SketchUp, we're gonna have this tab here, DataSmith. Before we didn't have this, okay, but now we do. Okay, that's the only tab that we're gonna worry about. Okay. Another thing, when we open here the file of Unreal Engine, let me delete this floor. Okay, let's see. What has changed here? Well, basically, that didn't change a lot of things. Now we have this option DataSmith, okay. This option, actually, we had this option on Unreal Engine, okay. Actually, the only thing that was installed was on SketchUp, okay. Um, okay, let's see. Let's get started. Before we import a project that is done, we have the option to get started from the beginning, a project, okay. Sometimes we have the project and we're going to model, okay, inside SketchUp through the project, okay. So we're gonna create here Let's put a height, and then we can make some more adjustments. Okay, basically that's the way that we're going to model our projects. Okay, and as we model, we can export in the final to Unreal Engine. In this case, let me make some other models here, some random models. Okay, let's see. And that's it. That's a 3D model that I have on SketchUp, and I want to send to Unreal Engine. I activate this link here. Okay, I come to Unreal, DataSmith, direct link import. It's gonna recognize for me the software SketchUp, double click and select. Okay, it's searching where it's gonna save the content on SketchUp. Okay, I'm gonna create a folder SKT00. We already have a SKT here, but it's from other tests. Okay, let's save it here. Okay, guys, here it has opened this option, and basically it is asking what we want to export. Okay, all of these options here. Well, sometimes we don't have animations or lights on SketchUp, so we just use this for modeling. So these options usually they're not checked. Okay, geometry and material. Well, Unreal Engine is a platform where we can texture in a very good way because we have like blueprints, nodes, and everything that we can texture our materials. The geometry we make on SketchUp. So most of the times this option is going to be checked. Okay, if you already textured this part on SketchUp, there's no problem. Okay, that happens very often. Okay, that you define the textures for the faces. Okay, in a way that you can differentiate then on arranging. I'm gonna explain that with more details after. And here you can check this option. Okay, the materials and texture, if that's the option that you think it's interesting. Okay, here we have some other options. Okay, but we're not gonna talk about this a lot. Okay, well, we're going to import this. It's gonna recognize my file SketchUp, and then it's gonna import the textures. Okay, you see that they are already with the textures. It's because we selected the option to import with textures. If I make some change here, for example, if I add a polygon or some other rectangles, look at this. Let's see what's gonna happen. And then I can also paint this. Okay, several colors, different colors. So that we can have an idea about what's going on in our tool. Okay, so what happens? Well, it has already changed automatically on arranging. You see this? Let me show it to you. I'm gonna make a cube here. Look, did it change here? Not yet, because it changes. For example, each 30 seconds it updates, so it works through updates. Okay, so I'm gonna change it here. Look at this, it has updated. You see this? So each an amount of seconds it's gonna update, and then it's gonna change. Okay, look at this, uh, if I change, for example, if I create a square here or a rectangle here, and if I put a texture, look at this. It has updated, as you can see this, okay. Um, I mean, it's kind of fast, okay, but it's not like 100% because I have a texture on the right side that I don't have on the left side yet. But I can click here to update, okay? So it's gonna be 100% equal, identical. So let's open Unreal Engine here to see what's happening with our model. Oops, the girl of SketchUp. Oh my god. Let's delete her. Uh, let's delete her with SketchUp inside SketchUp. Okay. And then it appears here as well. So let's understand what's happening here. So we have a file. Okay. That's a file of DataSmith. And inside this, there's a model, a 3D model, okay? A static mesh. And this static mesh, each material that I put has a function here. Is it good? Well, it depends. It can be good or not. Well, let me select everything here. Let me see. Let me put this color here. Let's see what happened. Look, we have one material here. In which moment it can be bad to have a lot of elements or just one element? Well, Unreal Engine works with, let's see, things that are going to read the materials. And we call it draw calls that are materials and textures with the same characteristics. The higher is the number of draw calls, the longer is going to be the time of processing. If we have one material with a lot of information of materials, different materials and textures, it's going to take a longer time, okay? However, in our case, that we're going to work with ARchviz and with computer, that's not really a problem, okay? We don't have to worry about it that much because we work by using a strong computer, okay? In my case, that I work with virtual reality, I have to take care about it because it's important so that it's not gonna be over the limits, okay? Because it's gonna take a longer time to processing, okay? If I don't have a strong computer. Okay, so we already saw the first step of SketchUp, how to synchronize and everything. And we saw where we send the materials. Okay, it creates a folder here, and it's gonna send the materials there. Okay, for example, all these materials, if we paint like this, look what happens with my folder. It updates. You see this? It doesn't erase, it doesn't delete the materials. It is just updating, okay? So if you change the material all the time and you update your Unreal Engine, what's gonna happen is that you will have a huge library that you're not going to use, okay? So it's a really important thing that you have to be careful, okay? So in the future, if the file is heavy, maybe that's the problem that is happening, okay? Let's keep going. So let's see how Unreal Engine behaves with groups, because look at this. Let's close. Let's delete this. Let's create this again. Let's create here a terrain. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna put this color a green here to simulate a grass. Okay, let's make some more adjustments. Okay, a house, that's a house, a basic house. Let's see, we have to differentiate the textures, okay, of the house and the grass. Hey, bring down texture, don't worry about it. Okay, in this terrain we're gonna have some trees. Okay, so let's put some cylinders here. Okay, yeah, 4 trees. I'm gonna put the texture here. Okay, so it's gonna be different when we take a look at this. Okay, and what happens with the project? Does the project come like this? No. Well, usually the project comes like with a house, one group, the tree is another group. Okay, let's create a group here. Create group and create group of this one as well. Okay, yeah, and the final, all the trees, they are a group. Okay, and we also have this group of the terrain. Okay, especially if the terrain has relief. It's a very simple terrain, but let's create a group as well. Okay, let's show again things. And people, they usually they create a group like this. What is the impact of that in our model there on Unreal Engine? Let's update. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen. Let's try to understand what happened here. Okay, so we have our file, DataSmith. Inside this there is an actor. Okay, it's a tab with all my assets. We have other tabs. Okay, this tab here of the house. Okay, we have other ones of the tree, for example. You see this? Other small groups. Okay, you see all the trees, and in the final the terrain. Perfect. So what are the advantages and disadvantages? Well, the first advantage is that it's more beautiful when you take a look at this. For example, here, you click here and you can see all the trees. You can rename this. And the disadvantage, look, you have here 4, 5, 6 elements. 4 trees, 1 house, and the terrain. 6 elements actually. And you have like 15 actors inside Unreal Engine. So you came from 6 elements and you have like 15 elements. It's a lot. In a short period of time, it's okay, there's no problem. But in a long term, that's gonna have a problem. Okay, in this situation here, it's acceptable. However, it is not perfect. Okay, how can we make this perfect? I'm gonna show it to you. Before, the first thing that we have to do, we have to detach. Okay, let's delete the groups. Okay, now we finished, we deleted all the groups, and then I have to think which type of asset I want. Well, I want 3 assets, 3 actors in my scene, of the house, I'm gonna create a group. The trees, instead of creating one by one, I'm gonna select all the trees and create a group. Okay, and after I'm gonna create a group for the terrain. Okay, let's update. Let's see how is our model now. Okay, look at this. It's more clean. Okay, it's easier to see this. Okay, so it decreased the amount of actors. Here we don't have a lot of lines. It's basic. Okay, very basic. uh, I can rename this here. Okay, there is no problem. Okay, perfect. So this is the best way. But look, if I want to optimize even more, yeah, a lot of times it's necessary inside a main gene. So I'm gonna select all these trees and I'm gonna transform them into an actor. Okay, in this case I have the trees here. Okay, they are similar. Okay, they have the same materials, so I can put all of them together. So to button and merge actors. Basically we have some settings here. Okay, but don't worry about that now. Okay, look at this, our OD and everything. Actually, we're not gonna talk about that a lot. We have to pay attention to this. Replace source actors. Check this option. Okay. It's gonna ask to save this. Okay. In some place. I have this merge folder. Okay. And let's save it. Okay. I can close this. And what happened is that now I have the trees, all of them together. Okay. So yeah, that's the way that we work when we have a lot of objects, okay, that are similar in our scene. And here, this tab here, I can delete. Okay. So basically, that's how it works. The SketchUp inside of main gene. To finish this, let's import an object here. You see that I deleted my scene here and it didn't delete the trees because now it's an actor of my scene on Unreal Engine. Okay, so that's a really important thing that you have to pay attention. Okay, I removed from those tabs, and after the merge they transform it into an actor inside Unreal Engine. Okay, so I detach it then. Okay, delete this. Let's go to 3D warehouse. Okay, and we can import some things here. Let's take this one here. That is more simple. Okay, and that way it's not gonna crash. Okay, let's put it here. Perfect. First thing, as I told you, it's a big group. Before we detach, let's get inside. Let's take a look to see how it works. Okay, so we have a big group and we have the group of the windows. Let's see. So yeah, the rest of this, they're not a group, they're just faces. But in this case, I don't actually need to detach them. Actually, it's interesting that I leave it like this so that I can import in your project only the structure. Okay, so here, if I want, I can remove this big group. But to be more organized, I'm not going to do this. Direct link, update, and let's see how it's gonna be inside Unreal Engine. So this house, oops, another important thing. Um, let's see. Um, Here we have a wall. Okay. Um, okay, it's good that we have this error because look at this. When we see through the window, we see that the normal, uh, they are flipped. The normals. Okay, all of them. They are flipped. But when we see from the outside, the normals, they are okay. As you guys saw, or you will see, we can change these normals or we can duplicate them. Okay, we can have like two faces. Okay, in this case, I'm not gonna change this here, but it's important that you know that it happens. Okay, that you have this option, or inside SketchUp you have to be careful about the meshes that are flipped. How can we change the faces? Well, I'm gonna show it to you. Look, select the face, right button, flip face. So this is a flipped face, okay, with this color. Um, and the white color means that the face is not flipped, okay? But if we have textures, how can we know if it is flipped or not? Well, very simple. You go here, face style and monochrome, and then I can see what is flipped or not. Like this and flip face. Okay? Honey, the house is blue, so it means that the normal is flipped? No, it doesn't mean that because as it was built this model, it was textured. So inside Unreal Engine, it works this way. Now let's study how it is inside Unreal Engine. Well, first important thing. Let's see the amount of actors. We have 59 actors. It is an acceptable number. Okay. So I have the house. Okay. And inside this house, we have the options, door, window. Okay. All the windows. As we know, they are in groups. Okay. And we also have the house, like in one asset. That's perfect. Okay, I think that's the ideal, all the structure and everything. Okay, the only thing that I would change, uh, I would remove these assets. Let me see where they are. Here, for example, this window here, it has an asset of window and has uh, a third asset of window just to create one window. So I would select these options and I would merge them. And instead of having six actors, you know, I would have only one. Okay, the same thing that we did with the trees. Tools, merge. Okay, click here, merge actors, merge, save. And then we have here one asset for the window. Okay, so that's the best way to work with SketchUp. Okay, you don't have to worry about it like with um, UV. Okay, resolution. Okay, because we used to use that in the other arranging, the other version. Okay, and here in this version, Looming brings us a lot of facilities. Okay, guys, let's let me see here. let's merge just to see how it's gonna be. Okay, so 57 actors, merge actors. Okay, let's see. Um, Perfect. So the windows that had static meshes, I used the merge on them. And let's see what else we have here. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, let's see. And now we only have actors. Select all of this and let's delete them. Okay. So here in this case, we have 37 actors. We can optimize even more. Let me see. These tabs here of actors of my scene. Okay. In my case, I'm not going to do this because um, I can use them to organize. Okay. So I'm gonna leave it this way, but I could produce like 11 actors. Okay. Guys, maybe you think it's just a little what I'm doing here, but let me show a video to you, okay? Here, guys, this is a project that we had like 27,000 actors in the scene. It is a small building. Look at this. That was the first test that I was taking in SketchUp, okay? As it had a lot of actors, it took a lot of time because the processing and everything, and it has crashed. Okay, and it's not cool. That video class is not cool. So in the final of the process uh, of 28,000 actors, let's see. Now I have like 7 because I was really uh, paying attention this. I was taking care of this. Okay, I used the merge a lot of times. Okay, so um, this way, step by step, until we get this point. Okay, look, uh, an important thing for you to understand is that why I cannot like just select everything and merge. Where is this? Let's see, merge actors and click here. Why I don't do it? Oops, I did something wrong here. Uh, Let me remove the skylight. And now I'm gonna merge. So why I don't do it in my scene? And I just come here and I delete. Because first thing, I lose flexibility, okay, of my static mesh. For example, now I only have the static mesh house and door, okay, because for some reason it was separated. Let's delete this door. Okay, so I only have one static mesh and I lose all the flexibility. Okay, For example, if I want to replace this window, I cannot do this, okay? Because it is a group, all right? Besides, I lose the opportunity um, to work in a more flexible way with my LODs, with my triangulation, okay? Second thing, you have a huge list of materials, okay? Here I only have 8 materials, but I already saw like projects with hundreds of materials. Imagine that you would have to try to search one by one and it would be really messed up. So, yeah, organization is important here. Guys, I think the class is gonna finish now. Um, I think you understood how to work with SketchUp, okay? You saw the two direct link, okay? And the best way to work with the project. Uh, I hope you guys understood this. Any doubt, you can ask me, you can send messages, okay, in the comment section below. All right. And that's it, guys. I hope you liked this video. See you.